Hey, Canucks fans, it is Canucks game day. Thatcher Demko is skating again. And what's it going to take for JT Miller to get back into your good books? I'm Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, January the 3rd. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Tonight, after the game, I'm not going to tonight's game. I'll be watching from home, but I hope you join me right here on YouTube at 11 o'clock for my nightly live stream. We'll break the whole game down, and hopefully we're talking about a Canucks win. Canucks had an optional skate this morning. Apparently there are about 8 forwards, 4 to 6 D-men, and both goaltenders. But this is what we think we know. We think we know that Spencer Martin is starting tonight. And then on D, I'm guessing they go with the same 6, and it's the right 6. It's Oyel, Myers, it's Hughes, Bear, and it's Dermott and Shen. That means Burrows and Stillman will be your extras. Then up front, if they play how they practiced yesterday, it looks like Pearson's going to get back in the lineup, and then Studnicka or Lazar will come out. So the lines that they practiced with yesterday were reuniting Horvat with Besser and Mikheyev, then Pearson, Kuzmenko, a third line of Miller, Dries, and Garland, and then your fourth line, you have Aman on one wing, you have likely Lockwood on the other, and then one of Studnicka or Lazar playing in the middle. My guess only, is that it's going to be Lazar with Joshua and Lockwood, and that Studnicka may be the healthy scratch tonight. So that's how the Canucks may line up. It's 90s night. I wish I could go, but Tuesday night, not bowling tonight, but usually don't go on Tuesday night. So it's 90s night. We'll see if the Canucks break out the flying skates. There's nothing confirmed about that, although they wore some of the flying skate gear at practice yesterday, but nothing confirmed about that. So although it would be appropriate, but more importantly, no matter what they're wearing tonight, we hope that the Canucks are able to pull out a victory. Now, Bruce Boudreau, in his media availability today, said a couple of interesting things. Said that Thatcher Demko was skating this morning. Now, he didn't have any equipment on, but Thatcher Demko was skating. He hopes that he's skating with equipment by the end of this week, and then maybe even going on next week's road trip with the Vancouver Canucks. And he didn't put a target date or an estimated date of when Demko might play again, but this is falling into that 6-week time frame. Remember, he got hurt on that Hall of Fame game. I think it was December 1st, back in when they were playing against Florida, of course. So if he got hurt on December 1st, and then they said at that time it was 6 weeks with a lower body injury. Well, we're basically a month and a bit past that. So in the 4 to 4.5 week category. And if he starts to practice with the team next week and then gets ready, so it could be between 6 and 7 weeks by the time he's back in lineup. And that would be a really accurate estimate back in December. Now, Demko, we know, did not have the best start to the season, kind of corresponded, or was a big reason why the Canucks didn't start so well. He's only 3-10-2. So 7 games under 500, where Spencer Martin is 11-6-1, 5 games over 500, and even Colin Delia is 2-1, although that's a very small sample size. So I think Spencer Martin has been fine. He's been fine carrying the load. You certainly can only blame maybe 1 or 2 games maximum on him and his play. And of course, it's not just him alone, but I think he's certainly kept the Canucks in more games than he's given up for or hurt them for sure. So Spencer Martin will continue to carry the load until Thatcher Demko's back. But the good thing is Demko was at least on the ice skating today. Tanner Pearson was also on the ice before practice, shooting pucks. So he's actually wearing equipment. So the hope for him is that he also comes on this road trip next week, and then he becomes an option. And then whether you love him or hate him, well, no one hates him, but whether you love him or not love him as much, Tanner Pearson does bring some stability, brings some veteran presence. Yes, he took a few bad penalties to start off the year, but I think he is a guy who's low maintenance, a guy who Bruce Boudreau really likes, and you certainly see him in the lineup over a guy like Lane Peterson, for example, or Sheldon Dries. So look for Tanner Pearson to make his return to the lineup sometime soon. He's still not practicing with the main group, so maybe he's at least a week away. So the good news on the injury front in terms of both Thatcher Demko and Tanner Pearson. Last thing I want to talk about today, I've talked about a lot over the past few days, is JT Miller, and he's been in the spotlight a lot because of the Winnipeg incident with Colin Delia. Then Saturday, his poor back checking, his poor effort on a couple of the Calgary goals, especially, and then his media availability yesterday, where he talked about that he thinks he's played a really good game, that he's actually sacrificed offense so he doesn't cheat, and so he plays better defensively, which kind of flies in the face of both the eye test and analytics. And people ask me, well, what do you think about JT Miller? I like him. I don't love him. I think, much like many of you, I'm sure when he's playing well, I like him. When he's aggressive, when he's making smart plays, when he's creating on offense, when he's putting in, when he's passing well, which is one thing he does really well, except for his blind. But, I keep saying that he passes well, and then you're saying, well, Clay, he's also the guy who gives up all these behind the back passes or cross ice passes. But where Miller is really good, and I've talked about this in previous seasons, is when he's from the face-off dots down. So not near the blue line where a lot of the turnovers happen and create havoc going the other way. But from the face-off dots down, including pass underneath the goal line, he's an excellent passer. He's got a good touch. He's got good hockey IQ, good vision. So I want to see JT Miller get back to that. And that means on the power play, putting him down behind the net as opposed to on that left face-off dot. And then you could put a Brock Besser or a Kuzmenko there. I'd love to see them make that small change. Anyway, with regards to JT Miller, I bring it up because, yes, he's been in the media quite a bit, and the fans are rolling their eyes saying, oh no, we still got 7 more years of this guy. His new contract hasn't even kicked in yet. And others are wishing that we can trade him to New York for Lafreniere. I think that's a bit of a stretch. But the one thing I want to bring up is Bruce Boudreau, and especially Jim Rutherford, have really been defending JT Miller, chalking it up to emotion. The guy wants to win. And even Rutherford almost threw Boudreau under the bus again and saying that he's had a lot of line mates and he keeps changing from center to the wing. And then it's funny, in one of Rutherford's quotes to Ben Kuzma, he starts it off by saying, I'm not complaining, but, and he goes on to complain basically. But he's making, I think Rutherford's getting a tiny bit more cognizant or sensitive to how his comments may be portrayed in the media, especially when it comes to taking shots at Boudreau. Having said that, Boudreau and even Miller's teammates chalk it up to a fiery leader, emotional, who wants to win, who doesn't like to lose. And I get that. Rutherford's defending his player is basically his prized asset for the next 7 years in the media. I get that as well. I'm asking you, Canucks fan, can you put up with his tantrums, so to speak, with his seeming lack of accountability sometimes? Are you willing to look past all of that if Miller indeed produces for this team like he did last year, and when he's had his moments this year, not 5-on-5, but on the power play? Would you take all of that, or do you think it's not worth it? And I'm not talking about the whole 7-year, $56 million. I think we all agree that contract is not going to age well, but you hope to get 4 or 5 good years out of Miller, even though we're not even seeing that this season. So, Canucks fan, tell me where you're at with JT Miller. Have you given up hope with him? And are you looking to ship him out of town with the first chance you can get? Or are you taking a more patient approach like I am and saying, okay, he had a really good year last year, even a couple, 2 or 3 good years. This year, he's still producing okay, not great, but he's still, 0.8 points per game. Can we see the good things that he's doing? Can we hope for a turnaround? We need a turnaround, but can we see and look forward to that and be optimistic about it, knowing that it looks like it might be unlikely that the Canucks are able to move him, nor they might not want to move him at all. So I want your honest feedback about JT Miller. And if you're telling me, yeah, I have time for him, let me know that in the comments. But if you're also telling me, no, Clay, it was a wrong move in September and it's going to continue to perpetuate itself over the next 7 years, I'm here for that too. I just want to hear what you guys have to say. Leave it in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think of tonight's game. Who's going to score first, and what's the score going to be? I know we're 36 or 37 games in or whatever, and we still haven't hit it. They lost 4-2 against, Winnipeg on Saturday. So I'm going that the Canucks, was it Saturday? Whenever it was. Thursday. I'm going that the Canucks win 4-2. Yes, I think they're going to nail it right. The first game out of the new year. Prove me right for once. Canucks win 4-2, and let's go Pearson scoring the first Canucks goal. Give me your predictions as well. Shout out to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Perform and Transform, Personal Training and Weight Loss. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Just Incredible, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members. And thanks to all of you for continuing to support me on this channel. As always, subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, leave a donation, gift a membership, become a member, or upgrade your membership if you'd like to. And definitely leave a comment down below if you'd like to. Score prediction, first Canucks goal scorer, and your thoughts on JT Miller. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. See you tonight at 11 p.m. for my live stream, and enjoy the game. God bless, and go Canucks go.